Bone health in aging is too often reduced to a single nutrient story: calcium, 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 with vitamin D added as an afterthought and everything else largely ignored. This reductionist framing has produced a situation where calcium supplementation is among the most widely used supplements in older women, despite evidence that supplemental calcium may not provide the bone protection that food-sourced calcium does, and may carry cardiovascular risks that food-sourced calcium does not. The difference, research increasingly suggests, lies not in the calcium itself, but in the food matrix it arrives in. Dairy products contain calcium in a matrix alongside protein, phosphorus, magnesium, potassium, and, in fermented forms, bioactive peptides and beneficial bacteria. These components do not act independently. Protein is required for the production of insulin-like growth factor 1, which stimulates osteoblast activity and bone formation. Phosphorus is a structural component of hydroxyapatite, the mineral matrix of bone. The combination of these nutrients in a single food appears to produce synergistic effects on bone mineral density that isolated calcium supplementation cannot replicate. Studies comparing dairy consumers to non-dairy consumers in aging populations consistently show superior bone mineral density in the dairy-consuming group, even after controlling for total calcium intake. Randomized controlled trials of calcium supplements, including a major Cochrane review, have found modest to negligible effects on fracture prevention, while epidemiological data on dairy consumption shows more consistent associations with bone protection. This discrepancy is best explained by the food matrix hypothesis, that the synergistic combination of nutrients in dairy products achieves something that a tablet of calcium carbonate cannot. Fermented dairy products, yogurt, kefir, aged hard cheeses, offer additional dimensions that deserve mention. Fermentation reduces lactose content, making these options accessible to people with lactose intolerance who cannot consume fresh milk without discomfort. Kefir, in particular, has an interesting body of research showing favorable effects on gut microbiome composition, and given the emerging evidence linking gut microbiome diversity to bone metabolism through immune pathway modulation, this is not a trivial secondary benefit. The warning about supplemental calcium deserves direct attention. A series of analyses, including meta-analyses from respected groups, have found associations between calcium supplementation and elevated cardiovascular risk, specifically increased rates of myocardial infarction in women supplementing calcium without magnesium or vitamin K2. The biological mechanism proposed involves abrupt elevations in plasma calcium from supplements triggering vascular calcification processes, something that does not appear to occur with the more gradual calcium absorption from food. While this research remains somewhat contested, the prudent interpretation is that food sources of calcium are preferable to supplements, and that if supplementation is genuinely necessary, it should be accompanied by magnesium and vitamin K2 to support appropriate calcium distribution.